Welcome to Benjamin's Dream and the Dreamers Podcast. Okay, listeners, it's week 4 in fantasy football. We're going to do the same thing as last week. Hopefully you enjoy our opinions, and hopefully if you feel like you have better ones, don't hesitate to tell us. But the first person I called this week is Alex. He plays his brother Drew. So let's give Alex a call and see how it goes.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Not much.
Not
What's
much?
going on?
Oh, not too much. So did you win last week? Oh, never mind. You're on a 2-game losing streak.
Yeah, 2-game losing streak.
Who did you play? You played.
Last week I played Mike Irvin.
Oh, you play Mike? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any running backs?
Not really. Not showing up for me.
No, I got you.
That was the problem. So I went, picked up some running backs. So we'll see. I got some Morris guy from San Francisco. I'm not exactly sure who it is.
Alfred Morris. He used to play for the Redskins, and then he went to the Cowboys as a backup. And then I think
He good?
he was a Pro Bowler in Washington, and then he did pretty good when Zeke was out, based off their offensive line. But I guess he was kind of placed as the backup in San Francisco right now.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know. We'll see. I know Burkett was hurt, Ryan Burkett, or he was hurt last week, I think, or he's on IR, so I have to do something there.
Wait, your kicker's on IR?
No. Running back.
Oh, my fault. Oh, yeah. Is it one of those short-term IRs, or is it like season ending?
I'm not exactly sure.
I got you.
I don't know what's going on with him. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Do you feel playing James Washington over AJ Green is a better matchup for you?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
your wide receivers are very good. Michael Thomas is very good. Jarvis Landry, he's still dominating. Well, not dominating. He's still playing very well for Cleveland. And then AJ Green, 2 weeks ago, he played very well. I think he played.
Yeah, AJ's pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of decided to go with Washington this week and put him in there and see what he does for me.
I think that might be good based off. What was your reasoning behind it?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that it might be good. I mean, playing Baltimore, we'll see if he gets some touches here this weekend. We'll see.
No, I got you. I think it might be good because I think they'll maybe semi-over prepare for AB and Juju, meaning Washington might get a bunch of open catches, maybe a touchdown again, like he did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. So.
No, I got you. Okay, so you're finally on my side. You want to, part ways with Le'Veon Bell. So what would it take? What are some options we could do?
I don't know. Let me look at your team here.
Yeah, no problem.
Who you got? It'd be nice to do a running back for running back because that's where I'm really hurting. But I mean, I don't know.
See, it's kind of hard for me based off. This week I didn't have like a running back spot because Joe Mixon is hurt. He's not on IR. I'm probably missaying this. He had to get like a scope of his knee or something. It was like a minor procedure, but it turned out really well, meaning like he can come back in a few weeks. But like AP's on the bye, Chris Thompson's on the bye. So I could find someone off the waiver wires, but I don't have a running back this week. I only have 2 they're on my roster at the moment that could start for me.
I got you.
What would you want?
I don't know. I mean, Adrian Peterson would be all right. I mean, he's past his prime a little bit, but.
I mean, he played. I think I'm pretty sure I'm going to mispronounce his first name, but you remember P-Ride, whatever. They used to play for Oklahoma.
Kind of remember him, yeah.
So he's not necessarily like out for the year. He's just injured. So I'm a little nervous. Well, I'm not that nervous that when he comes back, maybe he'll take some touches from AP. But that might be good because maybe AP will be more fresher.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, you never know with that one. But, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, you make me an offer, and we'll go from there.
No, I got you.
Honestly, Le'Veon hasn't done anything for me.
Honestly, he's not on team, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when he's going to come back or if he's planning to come back or what's going to happen there. So, I mean, if the deal is right, I mean, we'll go with it and,
No, I got you.
Let me see what happens.
Let me go back to your team real quick, see what we can do. So I could do something like I would intentionally trade for Rex Burkhead, even though he's on IR, just so you could get 2 players for Le'Veon. rather than
Okay.
one, because I feel like if he comes back at any point in time, he should be a very good fantasy football player. But that's if he comes back. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Yeah.
then, like, in theory, the players you get could help you go, like, on a win streak, and somehow I could lose and it'd be totally pointless. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough to kind of say whether it'd be a good deal or not from right.
Well, it depends. It just depends. I don't think it.
Right.
How's Andrew Luck playing?
He's playing really good. I mean, I have Sub Russell in there, but this week I'm just looking at him this week. Last week he did pretty well for me too, but he was on the bench. But anyways, he's projected to get 17 points this week. He's Indianapolis is playing Houston,
Okay,
so I don't know.
I got you. No, but I'll get you a trade within 24 hours. I'll throw something at you, see what I can do.
All right. That's cool.
What player? So obviously, so the Le'Veon Bell situation is kind of a weird situation based off he's technically not on a roster, even though like he's available to be traded and stuff on fantasy. Is there any players that are completely off the table on your team?
Nah, not really.
I got you. Okay, real quick. Do you know the player that's transferring from Clemson?
No, I don't.
It's just no worries. I'll ask Drew or DJ.
Some kind of quarterback.
Yeah, I know that. I was going to tell you to give a recruitment speech, but I can't think of his name, so that doesn't really help. So hype us up against Texas Tech this week.
I don't know. I was just listening to Three Guys Before the Game.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to that podcast.
I got you.
It's pretty good. But anyways, I don't know. They were talking about how it's it's going to be a good matchup, no doubt. But I mean, they think we got to at least keep it close. Keep it close all the way through. Then hopefully we can win in the end. I don't know. It'd be crazy if we went in and just dominated them, but I don't think we are. I think it'll be a close game.
I think so.
And,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It'll just come down to the very end, probably.
I got you. I'm pretty confident in the team. Well, I'm not that confident, but I'm pretty confident in the team this year. I mean, in theory, I know as a super fan, so we didn't play perfect against Kansas State, but we technically only held them to 6 points. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's pretty good.
It's not too bad, but they're not necessarily a powerhouse on offense this year.
Right.
Texas Tech did have some big wins. They beat Oklahoma State, and I think they beat Ole Miss, but Ole Miss lost by like a ton to Alabama.
No, really? Okay. Well, I don't know that I don't know how good Oklahoma State is. I don't know. I mean, we just don't know. I mean, they were ranked in the top 25, but I don't know whether they should be ranked that high or not. You know what I mean?
No, I got you.
So I don't know. It's kind of tough to tell.
Mm-hmm.
But this will definitely be a fun game this weekend, and I think it'll be a close one. So I hope we come out on the victorious side there.
I think we will, but I think we just have to. I don't know. We just have to see. Maybe this will be our first true test. I thought really Tennessee should have been, but they weren't the greatest. And then I thought maybe Kansas State would, but once again they weren't really competitive versus us.
They talked about on this podcast how it kind of feels like 2012. You know what I mean? Like we were really good, undefeated going in,
Mm-hmm.
and then we just completely lost it. And then the whole train derailed, and just we never fell back with that season.
Right.
So they mentioned that in this podcast, which I hope that's not the case.
Right.
Yeah, that would be awful.
What year was it when we won the Orange Bowl by 7 or scored 70 in the Orange Bowl? Was that 2012?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was that year, actually. Yeah.
Or was it the year before?
It might have
Because
been the year before.
I think
actually.
we were hyped up to play like Alabama in the national championship, and then I can't remember Gino's last bowl game though. I thought.
That was the pinstripe.
Yeah.
The Orange Bowl was the year before, and then it was the Pinstripe Bowl.
Okay,
We
I
played
got you.
Syracuse, you remember that?
Yeah, we lost, correct?
Yeah, we lost in that game.
Stupid.
So
No, I got you. So I think we had a bunch of good information this week. If you ever feel comfortable, share it with a coworker, share it with a family member, share it with whoever. It doesn't really matter. But it was good talking to you, and then I'll send you a trade tonight, if not very shortly here.
all right, man, sounds good.
Hey,
I'll talk to you later.
sounds good. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, not too much. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
Oh, pretty good. I remember I kept a close eye on it because you were playing my boss, but you lost last week, correct?
Yeah, I was up most of the time until
The Mike Evans
Monday
play.
night game. Yeah, Mike Evans had a good game, and Connor had a decent game too. So
I'm.
yeah, I unfortunately lost that one too.
I guess you. The Steelers' run offense or the running game, it's been really inconsistent because I don't know if it's because of David DeCastro because he hasn't played the last 2 games, but I mean, I guess
Oh yeah.
Connor and technically, got the yards when he needed to, but like the first half or the beginning of the third quarter, like he had very little yards again, but I mean, Ben threw it all over the place again, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to think. I mean, he's doing fine, I guess. I mean, he's
Right.
not going to do like he did in week 1 every week. So
Right. Sorry.
I'm happy. Vance McDonald, you got to be happy with him.
That was real. I hope so. I mean, if he's healthy, he's a big contributor for us.
Oh yeah,
Most of the time,
definitely.
because I mean, I don't know if he necessarily had a touchdown, but the Jacksonville game that we went to, he had like 10 plus catches, and then obviously
he
the
had a
Monday night
great
game, he did very well.
If he stays healthy, that'll be fantastic. Yeah.
I don't think Jesse James is like Jesse James will obviously lose a lot less playing time, but I feel like maybe once in a while he'd be maybe a better red zone option just based off his height. But then the whole goal line situation that one time, it kind of maybe might be in his head a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. He's pretty sure-handed. It seems like. I don't know. To me, anyway.
No, I got you.
More so than he used to be. Maybe last year he wasn't as much. But,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't score many points this week, so that was disappointing. But,
I got you. I thought you had it on. Well, I thought the matchup was decent because you had Antonio Brown and Jesse James, and he had Mike Evans and James Conner.
yep.
So, like, to begin with, it looked like Antonio was, getting you more yards. And Mike Evans wasn't really doing much necessarily, I don't think. He might have had, like, 34 yards, which is, I guess, a lot. But fantasy-wise, that's not that big a deal. And then the second half, when he scored that touchdown over Artie, it kind of just, like, because we weren't throwing.
He didn't really do anything the second half, so.
Right. It was kind of weird, but, like, this is going to sound goofy because I feel like it's the same thing AB did. But, like, I kind of liked when, for like 2 seconds, when Ben and Brown weren't really talking.
Why do you like that?
Well, because I feel like it holds each other accountable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm just assuming that AB didn't do the right thing. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe Ben threw the wrong, but I don't know. It didn't look like it. Because it was like after the route, he came off the field, and then, like, he was going to talk to Ben, it seemed like, and then Marcus Gilbert, like, stopped him and probably said, this is what you were supposed to do, or this is what you didn't do, or something like
Okay,
that.
I was probably driving at that point. I don't think I saw that.
Yeah, it was towards the end. We were trying to get a first down,
Okay.
and then, yeah. Oh, what do you think the situation with Chris Boswell is?
I don't know. He's just in a funk. I'm sure he'll be fine. I mean, he was just too good last year. He wasn't going to be that good again.
Right.
He was so clutch. It was crazy. There's no way he's going to reproduce that. I mean, he should be making his extra points and stuff, but I think he'll be fine. I'm not worried about it.
I hope so. It just
What
seems
do you
like
think about James Harrison?
I'm tired of it. I don't. I like. I feel like I don't know. Like I don't know the situation, but I feel like he's just trying to be like a new member of the media, trying to get some like almost like attention type thing. Because he didn't really have to as a player because he was good. Like he didn't have to say stuff.
Yeah.
And then now it's like maybe he's not the perfect analyst of things. And then he's just like, well, I think Bell. I was like, oh my God. It really bothered me because like I felt like I hate that Bell's out. Like I get that he wants his money. That's fine. And I think there is a bit communication between like the players on the team and Bell. Like maybe Bell said he was coming and there's something. It seems like. But the fact if someone's telling him like you should sign the tenure and then just fake injury. Like what the like?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. I think you're right. He's just saying it to try to get maybe a job or attention. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know why anybody would care. He's not even a good talker. Why does anyone want to hear his opinion? I don't know.
How many more weeks are you holding on to Des Bryant?
And to who?
On to Des? No, I went back from the Steelers back to your fantasy team. Des Bryant.
I don't know. Have there been any rumors that anybody might sign him? I don't even know.
I think a lot of teams are somehow thinking he could maybe go back to, not teams. I've heard like players say like, oh, he could go back to the Cowboys and really help him out or something. But I don't know. I thought there was like 2 weeks ago, like the Eagles, obviously because you have Alshon Jeffries, like they had some receivers out, then they lost more receivers. Like, oh, maybe they will sign Dez because then he'll play the Cowboys twice a year, blah, 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 to work out. But
I don't know.
I feel like talent-wise, like he needs to be on a roster, but I don't know why he isn't.
I can't believe he's not. I don't know. He's not like he dropped off that much. I don't know.
I don't.
The Cowboys are clearly struggling. I mean,
Mm-hmm. What would you want for Deshaun Watson?
I don't even, well, like from you,
Yeah,
or just, I don't even know what your roster is, man. Sorry.
that's no big deal. I thought about like asking every team, like trying to make a trade with every player. I wouldn't do every single one, but I thought about it. Also, what do you think about the Mountaineers this Saturday?
Oh, I think this is our first real test, I think, maybe, because, you know, I don't know. I don't know what to think about the Big 12. I thought I had it figured out, and then Oklahoma State got stomped by Texas Tech, and TCU lost to Texas pretty convincingly, too. So,
And then didn't Oklahoma go to overtime with Army?
yeah, I listened to that game the whole time, the last fourth quarter at least. Yeah, the Army had a chance to, like, kick a field goal at the end, or, no, Oklahoma did, and they missed it. They had like a 30-yard field goal, and then it went to overtime, and they won. But that's crazy. This is our year to win the Big 12. We got to do it this year. There's no excuse not to. I mean,
I hope so.
Oklahoma almost lost at home to Army. I mean, come on. Texas Tech. We'll see how good we are against Texas Tech. Their defense is terrible, so we shouldn't have a problem scoring points.
Mm-hmm.
And our defenses look pretty good this year so far. They haven't played anybody that great, but still.
And like a few years ago, when their team might have been a little better, and our team was in a kind of like a transition year when they had Patrick Mahomes, didn't we beat them still, or no?
Yeah, we beat them every year. They beat them 4 years in a row now. So I think we beat him every time he played us.
I think something you said on the original podcast, or not the I don't want to say the original, but one of the first or second podcasts is like Dana does have Kingsbury's number.
Oh yeah, definitely. At least definitely over the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I keep thinking to myself, but I'll just say it out loud. For some reason, Kingsbury gets fired, and then he joins our staff, and then he recruits all those players to come play for us.
That'd be nice. I mean, I don't know if he'd probably go coach somewhere else, but
He's talented. I mean, I'm sure he could get another job somewhere else.
and he's from Tech too, so
Mm-hmm. I never thought about that way. Let me see.
yeah. And I think I don't know. Well, the Big 12 is wide open this year, so why not us?
I know. I'm nervous about Texas though, like a little bit.
You mean Texas Tech?
No. So I went forward in the schedule. I think we don't play them the first week of November or the first, like the third or something. Texas, because I feel like they're
It's a home game, I think, right?
no. It should be at Texas because last
that's
year,
right, because Greer got hurt last year.
Yeah, huh.
Yeah.
and I don't know how good Texas offense is. And they probably are overrated probably, but their defense was pretty good last year. And I'm pretty sure they lost like a middle linebacker to the draft, and they probably lost other people. But I don't think most of their talent was underclassmen, if that makes sense.
No, yeah. I mean, I think, we'll see how as the year goes along if they're really actually good. I mean, they lost to Maryland, for God's sake.
Mm-hmm.
And Maryland just lost. Maryland got killed by Temple, so I don't know.
It was funny. I watched Temple play like Tulsa, and that's probably not even right at all. But they would talk a lot of trash, and I thought it was fun to watch. Did you see Kansas killed Rutgers like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, and then everybody picked them to beat Baylor last week, and Baylor beat the crap out of them.
Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why everyone was so high on Kansas, but whatever.
Hopefully
They lost the first weekend. They lost at D1AA school. I think it was one of the Dakotas. I'm not sure.
It might have been North Dakota. Isn't that where Carson Wentz went?
I can't remember if he went to North or South.
That's a good point. I didn't realize there was two. But
I think you're right, North, but I'm not 100% sure.
the Bison?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Are you going to try to... Okay, I'm going back to fantasy. I'm all over the place. Are you going to try to start Jimmy Graham this week, or are you sticking with Jesse?
Who do the Packers play?
Buffalo?
Yeah, I'll probably put him in. And we play the Ravens. Yeah, I'll probably put him in.
Which...
He's been disappointing so far, to say the least. Tavon's been good that last week, too. He got another touchdown.
Well, that's good. I'm happy for him. I hope he does well in Dallas. So which Steeler team is going to show up Sunday night? The first half versus Tampa, or?
I think the offense should. Ben's kind of found his groove. It seems like.
I think so. Yeah.
The offense, I think, is going to be okay. We'll just see what kind of defense shows up.
See, I'm going to say this one thing real quick. So, obviously, well, it's not obvious, but point being, I hate when, so we have a struggling DB on the team. We don't need to mention his name. But I don't understand why people don't play the ball too many DBs play the receiver. If you play the ball is almost a DB's best friend. If the ball is in the air, that means the offensive player has not caught it. If you play the ball, that's what you should do. But a lot of people, like, they always get beat, and I don't know. This is frustrating. Especially because Artie's been beat deep like the last 3 weeks, but he went for he bid on the fake, and it's like, I don't care if he gives up a 15-yard pass in front of him.
Just don't let him get behind you.
And then I don't know. And then you'll probably know a little bit about this. Well, not. So Mike Hilton, he hyperextended his elbow.
Okay.
Do you think he should be able to just put on a brace like most football players, or do you think he'll sit out a week? Because he played very well for us in the Tampa Bay game, I thought.
Who
Mike
is this
Hilton.
again?
He's like our
Okay.
he's like our nickel defensive back, dime defensive back.
I didn't know, but it depends how bad it is, I guess. I couldn't really say.
I got you.
don't
He
know.
was 28. No, excuse me. He was 31 last year, and he's 28. A bunch of our defensive backs switched up numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think he had 2 picks. Well, I don't know. He might have had 2 picks last game.
Our first rounder had a pick, didn't he? Terrence Edwards.
I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
I remember when they showed the replay, because like he pretty much, in theory, almost threw the ball right to him, but I didn't know if he did like cut it off somehow or was this overthrown.
It was overthrown, I think,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Or
I'm
maybe
pretty sure it
thinking of a
was, but
different
I didn't
one.
know if I was. But I mean, he looked good. I don't think he'll. It depends on if. Oh shoot, who do we get from the Packers?
I can't think of his name.
It's gonna bother me. I want to say House, but I don't think that's right. No, Hyde.
Okay.
Whatever. But I'd like to see Terrell Edwards start. I think I don't know. I thought it was kind of like almost like a win when Bud got the pick 6. Maybe that'll get him some momentum. Like I felt
That was Bud, right?
Yeah, Bud got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was kind
That
of
was
it was
surprising,
fluky
yeah.
almost.
Yeah, it was fluky. What'd you think of the Monday night announcers?
I don't like. I tried to watch them the first week. I think it was like the doubleheader. No, I didn't watch any of them on the first week because they did the later game. It was just weird. I thought it was weird how they kept showing them from the back, like they showed like the
Yeah.
projection, but like it wasn't like fancy. It was like some guy kept standing on a box, like this little platform. I'm like, well, I'm sure he wants to be shown like that.
Yeah, Booger's he's just on that floating chair.
That's
thing.
I
It's kinda
find
weird.
that kind of cool. That I don't know how it looks like in the game, but the idea of he's just there and it moves him back and forth, and he has like a bunch of computer screens, or not a bunch, but one at least. I find that kind of neat. I don't mind Booger McFarland, but like, I can't. I tweet. He doesn't have a Twitter, I don't think. The Joe Tessitore, the Texas is back guy.
Yeah.
I wish he would like kind of like realize it was kind of a goofy statement, just like say everything is back all the time.
That'd be funny. Yeah.
But I'll talk to you next week, okay?
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, too much. So you're still the only undefeated team this week.
Still the only one left.
I don't exactly remember, but I kind of kept an eye on based off. But I'm only 1 game behind now. But that's not really the point. On your and DJ's score, did his players kind of underperform, or did your players necessarily did your guys go play very well again this week?
Well, but he had underperformance going into the final game. Around 8:30, I believe he had Gronkowski left, and that's what really scared me against Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
But Detroit held him.
Right. I was surprised how well they played.
And because you looked at his numbers, and then you look I think he had Vance McDonald on the bench. You look at his numbers, you would think that the numbers should be switched, but yeah,
Right.
I was surprised. I was there watching it. I was really concerned. I thought he was going to. Because he wasn't down by much.
Right.
I think he might have been maybe down somewhere between 15 and 20 points. I'm like, Gronk can do that.
Right. Easily. I was
Yeah,
surprised. I remember we talked about. Sorry, I apologize for cutting you off. I remember we talked about it prior, but like we thought Minnesota's defense was going to get him like a lot of points, and then they lost to Buffalo. I was kind of shocked.
I think that was a shocker around every league.
Mm-hmm.
But my guys, I mean, Rivers, Kamara, and McCaffrey, they held their ground.
Right.
So really, and then Will Lutz gave me 15. So really, it's all I needed. All I needed to really hold on to win.
I remember we talked about this too. I picked up Dan Bailey,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, Dan's extremely solid for was for Dallas. He'll give me some point. He got me 0 points. I mean,
Yeah,
it didn't matter. I won by like 20 or maybe even 15 or something, but I was like up by 30. But that's not the point. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be helpful, and then it didn't. And I thought about picking up a different kicker, like switching, but I was like, I'll just pick a kicker in a Thursday night game. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I mean Bailey's playing right now with the Rams, so
Right.
we'll see what happens this week.
I'm hoping their offense bogs down in the red zone. Plus,
Yeah.
Mike has Kirk Cousins. Well, it's
Okay.
weird. He has Kirk Cousins and he has the Rams defense. So
Yeah, that's something you should never. That's a fantasy thing you should never do. Is have a quarterback and you got their and you're playing against the opposing team. Yeah,
right,
that hurts you. That hurts you in the long run.
right. I got you. I don't think you did because you stay. Your team's pretty solid, so you don't really necessarily have to. Did you try to pick up anyone this week?
I did. I picked up Calvin Ridley this week.
Oh, I think that. So I wanted to draft him. I wanted to draft him, or there was another receiver. Oh, this guy's not really a rookie. John Ross.
Okay.
For Cincinnati because I heard he was healthier and plus he still had the speed. So I was like, okay, I'll take a chance. I actually did draft him. Minnesota scored. I actually did draft him, but I ended up not keeping him for a week or two. But Calvin Ridley, I think, Calvin Ridley. I think he could maybe emerge as the number 2 over Mohamed Sanu, but it just
Yeah,
depends.
I mean he had the 3 touchdowns there against Atlanta. Yeah, he's playing to be that number 2.
Right. I mean, he was a first-round pick. I didn't like when he played for Alabama. Like, I knew he played very, very well, but like, he didn't remind me of like Julio Jones dominating, games and stuff like that. But he could.
Julio Jones is like a deep threat more of a guy. He's like that Randy Moss. If you want to compare to anyone, Randy Moss would be like a Julio Jones type player.
I got you. So, did you get to watch the Packers game?
Packers game was not on in the area, but I did listen to it on the radio because I do have one of those football apps. I did listen to it on the radio, and boy, I shouldn't have done that. Ugh, that was rough.
This is gonna drive me nuts because I can't think. Oh, wait, never mind. Muhammad Wilkinson, didn't he get hurt during the game?
He did. His season's over. And the thing is, a lot of stupid penalties, but the most important one, this roughing the passer's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, I hate they're doing it. I don't understand. I don't understand. I wish I knew like how they graded like the referees after the game because if I feel like the referees know this is not pass interference or excuse me, roughing the passer, but it's like, well, this is how the rule reads, and we better call it this way or we're going to lose our job, or we're going to get like demoted or something. Because obviously these aren't. Did you watch the? Sorry, go.
The thing is, players in the past like a Lawrence Taylor or Reggie White or Ray Lewis, they built their careers on doing them kind of hits.
Right.
Now it's like, oh, you look at the quarterback the wrong way, you're going to get penalized for it.
I thought when they first, so maybe it'd be different if it was like if it happened to Ben, and I know you're a Packers fan, but like I didn't think the Aaron Rodgers hit was like dirty, like 2 years ago, technically.
No,
When he broke his
it wasn't.
collarbone?
I mean,
I think it was just a fluke accident. Sorry.
it happens. He broke his. He landed and broke his collarbone. Injuries happen. That's why he played the game.
But I don't know. Do you think you'll keep your? How did Austin? I can't pronounce his last name. The backup running back for the Chargers do. Did you play him last week?
I didn't even play him last week.
Okay.
I think I might this week because he's pushing towards starting, but I still am not going to put him in there until I know for sure.
Right, I got you. Do you think you would think Jordy Nelson could get you another big game? Because didn't he like ball out last week, or at least 2 weeks?
If he gets another big game, he'll probably go back. He'll go into my starting lineup probably as a flex. But who would have thought he would have done that?
Right, yeah. I thought he would have. Like, I didn't understand. Well, I kind of understood why the Packers got rid of him based off his age. But, like, it wasn't like last year was a bad year. He didn't get hurt, correct? Last year.
He actually was coming back from ACL injury.
That's okay. So, like, he had a solid year and he didn't, like, underperform. and then they got rid of him. I don't know what his salary was, but I
I
thought it was
think
a weird move.
it was based on money they had. I mean, when they got Jimmy Graham, yeah, they had to get rid of Jordy Nelson.
I got you. The Packers play Buffalo this week, right?
Yeah, and then you don't know which Buffalo team's going to show up now. That one that just dominated and played without LaShawn McCoy, or the one who played the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you real quick because I don't really remember because I didn't have the Packers till like last week, but I didn't play them last week. Before Muhammad Wilkinson got hurt, could you guys stop the run?
Adrian Peterson had some big runs. I mean, they gave up 3 touchdowns to him.
Right, but I didn't know if like the week prior you were kind of still stopping the run when he was in.
They were stopping the run. Yeah, I mean, they haven't really gave up a lot of like 100-yard rushers so far. But yeah, he comes in. Adrian Peterson comes in, just playing like he did in Minnesota.
That might just be like a familiarity thing. Like he just felt confident. It's like, oh, I'm playing the Packers. I've ran all over these guys before. Not, you know what I mean? He's had games like that versus the Packers. Maybe I don't know.
But it's their pass defense. That if you got a quarterback that can pass the ball and you're playing Green Bay's pass defense, you're gonna eat them up for yards every week.
I got you. How's Allen Robinson been playing for you?
He has his moments. I mean, not great, but not good.
I got you.
It's not like he's getting 100 yards each game, but he'll give you your 40 to 50 yards that you need. But without touchdowns, what are those 40 or 50 yards good for?
Right. I mean, have you played? So like 3 years ago, we did a PPR league. This was prior to last year, or it was even more than that actually. And like the scoring was like ridiculously high, which I didn't mind, really, because it usually worked to my advantage. But do you prefer PPR leagues, or do you like standard scoring?
It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm in another league where scoring is just a little more. The commissioner has a little more. The numbers add up a little more, but it don't bother me.
No, I got you. I do like the only thing that I mean, I wish sometimes I always wish my players would score more points, but I like how the points are set up so there can't be a tie. Because like 2 years, maybe it was on our league last year, but it might have been 2 years ago or something. I don't think you were in the league at the moment, and it was just like there was a team that tied, and I think they made the playoff. I don't know if they did or not, but I thought it was stupid. Like in terms of the Steelers and probably your Packers, we don't mind a tie because if you have the same record as someone else, it's going to be a tiebreaker. But I just find like to me ties aren't wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know.
And don't they and the leagues, they adjust scores after every game, so you don't know.
Right, no, I got you. What do you think about the Mountaineers this week?
Oh, that's going to be a tough. And I said this earlier. I said this to DJ. I said if we can get past Texas Tech, it looks good going into November.
Yeah, I agree. I'm semi nervous about Texas. I feel like their defense is probably pretty good. I feel like it wasn't necessarily bad last year. They just weren't very good.
It's a whole different team from where they were playing Maryland.
Right, yeah.
They've completely turned around. It's their big 360. But with Texas Tech, you have to look. This Texas Tech defense has been giving up 600 and some odd yards. I think it was like 632 to Houston when they played them.
Good Lord. Well, hopefully that works to our advantage. I feel like it should, but...
And I believe, I don't know who the other... I know they gave up over 500 to Mississippi. Mississippi beat them by 20 in their opening game.
No, they beat Ole Miss. But
they beat Ole Miss.
They beat Ole Miss.
I thought that was their first loss. I thought that was Texas Tech's first loss.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they beat Ole Miss. But then I was thinking to myself, Ole Miss got killed by Alabama. So, like, I'm like, well, how good is Ole Miss? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they beat Oklahoma State, which I thought Oklahoma State was, like, good to, or average to good. But then I'm just, like, nervous it's going to be like a slaughterhouse in the Big 12 this year. Like, people are just going to get, a bunch of teams are going to have 1 losses or whatever, you know what I mean?
It's a wide open conference, minus Baylor and Iowa State and Kansas. Wide open conference, yeah.
I hope I didn't get to watch the game, but I found it like I just realized this today. I just found out today that Army took Oklahoma into overtime.
Yeah, I think it's the only time they were going to face the triple option. That's what really killed them.
I got you.
because I believe that quarterback for Army only threw for 40 yards.
Do you remember like 3 years ago or something when Florida lost to a team that didn't attempt one? It was either they didn't have a completion or they didn't attempt a pass play.
They didn't attempt to pass play.
It was
I do-
crazy.
yeah.
I was like, how is that possible? But that was pretty cool, though.
Well,
Funny.
those Army, Navy, Air Force, they're all triple option teams. So if you can stop the triple option,
Right.
then you have a good chance. But yeah, Army's really improved the past 2 years.
I got you. But thanks for calling, and I'll talk to you same time next week.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, not much, man, not much.
I didn't bring this up with your brother, but you're playing your brother this week.
Oh, yeah, well, see what happens. I don't anticipate much of a matchup from him, but
There you go.
we'll see.
Gurley just
It'll
scored.
depend.
Gurley's got you 9 points.
Yeah, I think we're going to be okay. I'm logging on now, see what I got going on here. Wrong button, you dummy. Come on through. Check out my box here. Oh, yeah, I already got 9 points on him.
Right.
We're okay. We're okay. I mean, I'm supposed to win by about 10 points here, it looks like, so we'll see. I'm going to keep riding in my Mahomes train. Tyreek Hill taking care of business. A little disappointed in Deshaun Jackson's output Monday in that Steeler game.
Are you, oh, never mind. You're 2-1, 1-2, excuse me.
Yeah. But let me look at the standings here. How am I looking points-wise?
Points wise, I think you're one of the best. Like in your division, you're one of the
Yeah.
best.
334. I think I got the most points in the whole league.
So I mean,
Bad
it'll
matchups,
work
though.
out in the long run.
Yeah, I got the most points for, and I have the most points against, so
I got
I don't
you.
know how that works.
When did you pick up James White, or did you draft him?
No, I don't. Let me look here. I think I picked him up. It was on the 19th. I guess it's last week. So,
'Cause-
yeah, I can't remember if I had Burkhead or not. I think I did, and I just decided that Burkhead was a lost cause.
No, I actually remember. Well, it could have been, but I'm pretty sure Alex drafted him.
Okay. Well, I might be getting confused with my other leagues I'm playing in, but I did drop.
It's
I
no big
picked up
deal.
White in a couple leagues because
Because the
I like
Burkhead
it.
is on IR now.
Yeah.
I was going to get. I wanted to get James White because I think he was available maybe week 2 or week 1 or whenever you picked him up, or
Yeah.
prior to you picking him up, obviously. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna get him because he, they use him. If we were in a PPR, it'd be big time, but they give him a lot of volume. So I was like, I want to get him, and then you had him.
yeah,
So I think that's gonna help you out in the long run, depending on how much they use Sony Michaels.
true. We'll see what goes on. I don't know. I probably was thinking about maybe flexing in TJ Yeldon, but I think I'm going to stick with that Galladay right now. I just can't decide what I should do with Deshaun Jackson. I don't know if the honeymoon's over there or what. He had a couple big plays that he could have made.
Right.
So I'm beating back and forth whether or not I want to put TJ in the flex and move Galladay
To your wide receiver.
to my wide receiver
No,
slot.
I got you.
But I don't know. I also got that guy from the Jets. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name, but it's
I wanted to pick him up. I think the week you got him, I tried to pick him up because, once again, if we were in a PPR league, I think it would matter a little more. But
yeah,
he gets a lot of volume, you know what I mean?
he does get a lot of volume, and a couple of the other leagues I play that are PPR, he is a really nice asset to have.
Right.
Demarius Thomas, I don't know where he's been at, kind of laying in the weeds.
No, I got
He's
you.
a 46 overall wide receiver. He's not helping me much. So
Yeah, I drafted
That's
Emmanuel Sanders because I remember prior to the draft, I heard that, I was a little hesitant about getting any Broncos receiver based off Case Keenum. But then I can't remember, unfortunately, who the reporter was or the analyst was. They talked about how Case Keenum loved to throw to Adam Thielen, the slot receiver for the Vikings. So I'll
Yeah.
pick up, I'll draft Emmanuel Sanders. And it's worked out big time. Like the first week, I didn't start him because I was like, well, we'll just see what happens. He had 19 points. The second week I played him, I think I played him, maybe I didn't, and he had over 12 points again. Then last week, he didn't have a lot of receiving yards necessarily, but he had a rushing touchdown, excuse me. So he got me 13 points in my flex, which I was happy with.
yeah, well, yeah, you can't beat it. I mean, I just need to start winning games eventually.
I mean, you should.
I got this.
Talent-wise, you have a
number
very good team.
Yeah, I got the number one running back. I got the number one wide receiver. I got the number 2 quarterback. I mean, I don't have anyone who's position ranked worse than 25th in my starting lineup.
No, I got you.
So, and that's at Alex Collins. Aside from Gurley, I'm weak in running back, but It is what it is. If
So,
you wanna call
okay,
it
so
TJ
prior-
Yeldon and Alex Collins week, which I probably would.
I got you. So prior to this game, would you want something for Dalvin Cook based off if he underperforms again?
Hey, I mean, everyone's on the table. I mean,
I got you.
I'd trade anybody, if it was the right offer. But
I don't think you should trade Gurley,
Well,
but I understood what you meant though.
it depends on what I get though.
I got you.
We'll have to see. But we'll see what goes on there. I mean, he's a running back 2 type talent, I would think, but he's really,
So I don't know if the offensive line has changed drastically, or he's kind of, I don't know, maybe not as confident after his injury. I don't know if he tore his MCL or ACL last year.
hamstring or something, wasn't it? Well, yeah, that was last.
That was
this year.
I'm talking about last year, and then so maybe he's just a little more hesitant because last year, prior to him getting hurt, he was one of the best running backs in the league. I shouldn't say it that way. His numbers he was performing as one of the best backs, and then he got hurt, and then this year he hasn't really lived up to it. Because I think he was like a top 20 player. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Because I remember
he was doing great, and I probably shouldn't have drafted him in the 3rd round. I don't know.
I think that's kind of hard to say based off like he should be performing more, and maybe it was a bad pick. But like I remember we let him sit there for a while. I'm pretty sure because that was something. I think when Brown's
Well,
running
I think
back.
he was higher rated on the ESPN or
Right.
the thing where he was a higher rated player and he fell. So I guess it was a value pick, but at the same time, he's not doing anything relative to where I drafted him. I mean, I got guys I picked up on the waiver line who are better performers. So
No, that totally makes sense.
we'll see.
No, I got you.
I got to decide what I'm going to do with the Browns defense thing. I think I want to ride it out.
I mean, that might not be a bad pick. They're playing well. I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It seems hard because maybe they're not like a. I don't know. They get you interceptions and they get you sacks and stuff. So I mean that works out.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the Mountaineers this week versus Texas Tech?
Oh, I think it's a big one. I kind of thought that we would get an idea how good the team was when they played NC State, but that all kind of fell through. So I think Kansas State really wasn't much of a match for them, and that kind of showed on the field. We'll see what happens. They've gone down to Lubbock and had the season ruined before. So.
No, I got you.
I think what's the line at now? Is it still a touchdown or has it moved?
I don't know off the top of my head, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I have to look it up too, but I think that they will pull it out because I think that our offense is, as far as the offense goes, it's probably a push in terms of who's better. I mean, I think we have the better talent in Will Greer, but
Right.
they're a top 3 or I think they might even have been the top scoring offense in the country going into last week.
Okay.
I'd have to double check that. I thought I saw that a stat somewhere on that, but they're a great offense and we have a great offense too. So then it comes down to defense, and I have to believe that our defense is a little bit better than theirs. They're for us.
Correct. And like to your point, they do have the number 1 offense, partially probably because they have to put up all these points that they couldn't stop
Yeah.
from preventing being put up.
Yeah, and I think we can score with them, but it's just a matter of whose defense is better, I think, and special teams will factor in obviously too. And I don't know what the weather's going to be down there. Hopefully, it's not real windy, or we'll see.
No, I got you.
I think it's going to be a tough one, but they should get the win.
I agree. I've never watched. Well, I shouldn't say never watched. It sounds like I've never seen Texas Tech play, but I haven't watched Texas Tech play this year. In past years, they've been supposedly, where they were better, but we've always seemed to pull it out and beat them.
Yeah.
But I
I
don't.
watched. Go ahead, sorry.
No, you can say we need to or
I
want
was
to.
going to say, I watched a good portion of that Tech Oklahoma State game in the second half, and Tech handled them well. Now Oklahoma State's kind of falling apart. They're having some personnel issues, and kids leaving, and Gundy threatening the press. But well, he did. He said he was going to cut off questions if they asked about that kid transferring out of there. So I think there's a lot of distractions with Oklahoma State. So I'm almost ready to kind of write them off.
No, I got you.
The 4-team race we were talking about last week. So we'll see what happens. But right now it's looking like they're going to have a hard time.
I got you. I'm pretty. So, as flaws as a team, what would you think? What would you think our biggest flaw is right now, the Mountaineers?
Oh, I'd probably go with depth at linebacker.
I got you.
You know, if they already had a guy go, well, Benton, I think, was who went down early,
Mm-hmm.
so he's out. You got David Long making basically 100 tackles a game. You know, if you lose him, I mean, they already have changed the way that they played. You know, how many down linemen they played once this year.
No, I got you. Yeah.
I think the greatest strength of the defense is probably the guys up front, the linemen.
No, I definitely agree.
You know, if you keep losing the line, if you lose another linebacker, then they can eat up all the blocks you want, but someone's got to tackle the guy.
I got you.
I'd say that's probably my biggest concern.
I feel like
It seems like the offense can finish now. Or at
no, I
least,
do agree.
Yeah.
I feel like a concern is our. It's going to sound silly because we haven't really had a real test, but we've been turning the ball over a little bit in certain situations, and it hasn't came back to bite us yet. But if we play a better team, let's just say Texas Tech, and they start getting points off of turnovers, that could maybe come
Yeah,
back
then
to
you're in
bite
trouble.
us. Right.
Yeah, right. So, a couple bad throws by Greer, you know.
Right.
I talked to a couple people about that, and you know, I don't know how true it. You know, a lot of people saying, "Oh, well, he didn't help himself with that performance against Kansas State." I don't know how you can say that after you throw 5 touchdown passes.
Right.
But you know, yeah, he looked a little sloppy there, and throwing the ball, a couple bad interceptions. I don't know if he was forcing it or what, but yeah, you're right. You start doing that against a team that's a quality opponent. You know,
They're gonna
which
make you pay,
Texas Tech
unfortunately.
may or may not be. You know, they're a ranked team. You know, do they deserve that? I don't know, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
No, I got you. I think so. Like to your point about the the 2 interceptions like hurt him. I think to your point, I think it's a great point in terms of like they didn't hurt him that bad because he threw 5 touchdowns, but like his competition, I can't think. There's like 2 more people that are besides him, but like the Alabama quarterback, I'm not going to mispronounce his name. He's playing at a high level for Alabama. Tua, yeah. And then I thought I think there's like one more person, maybe like Love out of Stanford, but I could see how someone could come back to that and be like, okay, that week Tua played this well or something, but I don't know. We'll just have to,
Well, I mean, basically, the way I look at it, yeah, you got to run the PR campaign to get Will invited to the Heisman ceremony, but there's virtually no way he wins this unless, I guess the only way would be Alabama becomes a 2-loss team, which I don't see that happening. I mean, because Tua's probably going to win it, even though he's splitting the reps with Hurts. He's just a great player. So, I just don't see, we have to go undefeated, and they have to be a 2-loss team, I think, for him to really win it.
no, I got you.
We'll see. But, he's doing pretty well. I mean, 14 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. It's pretty good.
I don't know the exact stat. You'll probably know this, but I think it's a pretty cool stat, but it's kind of almost borderline irrelevant. Greer's record at home is like 13-3
Oh, yeah?
for us. Like every time he's played at home, I would say that.
Well, he just wins in general. His QBR this year, I'm checking it out here now, it's 93.5. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, come on, what more do you want?
No, I got you.
So they ought to be okay here. I did check the line; it moved to 3.5, so getting a little closer there. But,
Yeah, I think we're both excited for the game on Saturday, so I'll call you pretty close to the same time next week. And thanks for calling.
All right, Ben. We'll see you, man.
See ya.
Thanks. Bye.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, not too much. Okay, so you lost to Giles last week, correct?
Yeah, on a little bit of a skid here. I'm going to start Watkins and see how far he can take me. I've had him out the first couple weeks, so I'm going to put Cooper on the shelf. I actually traded him in my money league for Carlos Hyde. And
Well, that's big time.
Yeah.
You just did
and
straight up?
No, there was a couple other guys in the deal. I sent Kittle and Lamar Miller, and I got Hyde and Crabtree in return. So
That's not too bad.
I'm 2-1 in that league, so I'm liking what I have there. But I'm kind of looking maybe to make some moves here if I don't get a win in our deal this weekend. But hopefully these guys can get it together. Zeke and Breeze.
No, I got you. I mean, if you just go by, name alone, I feel like your lineup should be, very well every week. I think maybe it's just been maybe like a matchup in terms of whoever you played that week just scored more. That sounds goofy, but just scored, having to score more points than you because like it's not. Has Zeke almost a little bit underperformed for you in terms of a first round pick or first pick?
I feel like he's been a little bit of a bust maybe. I got him late I got him 7th in my other league, which I felt like was a steal. But I don't know. I think more teams are gearing up to stop the run with them because they don't have, the pass catching options that they've had in the past. So it's making it a little more difficult on him, I guess.
No, I got you. How's Kenyon Drake playing for you? Is he kind of like?
He's been pretty solid. I think he's probably been. I've kept him in my flex, but he's probably been good enough to be a number 2 running back. I haven't really seen Miami play that much, so I don't know how involved he is. But he's been okay, I guess.
I got you. I'm kind of shocked that Miami's undefeated.
Yeah, that was something I don't think anybody really saw coming. And, now they've got New England on Sunday, and it's kind of a big deal to see who really takes hold of that division.
Mm-hmm.
The winner probably, New England's got to win almost assuredly because they can't start 1-3. So
I hope they do.
Yeah, well, yeah, most of us do.
No, I got you. So what do you think of the Sunday night game? How do you think the Steelers played?
You mean the Monday night game?
Excuse me, I apologize. Yes.
It was pretty wild. I mean, I think everybody got excited, and then I think there was like 10 or 11 minutes left in the fourth, and Tampa had scored, and I told my dad, I said, this game's not over yet. And,
right.
It just seems like the same song and dance. They get a lead, and, they were fortunate enough to hold on to it there Monday, but you just wonder, I don't know, how far they can go when you're just getting out by the skin of your teeth, I guess.
No, I got you.
Or not.
I find it weird that like this week, like if Cincinnati lost and like we beat the Ravens, somehow we could just be back at the top of the division already. I mean, the Browns would have to lose again, but
yeah, I like Cleveland out in Oakland. I mean, Oakland's been awful. They've been worse than the Browns probably this year. And then I don't know, Baltimore to me, they're kind of still. I know they won last weekend and stuff, but I like the Steelers at home. I don't know that they're good enough offensively to really score with us, and I don't know that their defense is really that great as in years past either. So
right, yeah. I was borderline nervous and like kind of like annoyed, but I think it was more of the Bills were just not that good. Week 1, they destroyed the Bills, and I'm like, please tell me they're not this dominant. And then I was like, I saw highlights, and I'm like, these people are like wide open, or like it's just too easy. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure the Bills are just not that good.
Yeah, last weekend was kind of bizarro world, I guess. It seemed like there were a bunch of the underdogs had won, like Detroit beat New England,
Bills beat Minnesota.
Yeah,
the Redskins beat the Packers.
Right. Yeah, that was just an odd weekend. It seemed like.
I got you. Okay, so talk about the matchup with Texas Tech on Saturday.
Well, I think the line came out Sunday. We were maybe a touchdown favorite, and now apparently, from what I've gathered tonight, we're 3.5-point underdogs. So there's obviously a lot of money, I guess, being thrown on Tech. This is the first team we've played, I guess, with what you would call an offensive pulse.
Right, yeah.
So I guess I'm probably more concerned as I've ever been this season. Had we played NC State, I'd have been a little more concerned.
No, I understand.
But this is going to be our biggest challenge for our defense this year by far. And I guess I would say if we win, we probably know we're headed in the right direction. If we lose, you wonder. the rest of October, there's not much there. I mean, you got Kansas. Well, October doesn't start yet, but you know what I mean.
I
You got
understand what you're
Kansas
saying.
and Baylor and Iowa State. You know, none of those teams are offensive juggernauts. So, I think the defense will have its hands full. But it's a game we should win. But you never know on the road, you know, how things are going to go.
No, I got
So-
you. Personally, I'm nervous that it's gonna be a close game. Not because I know anything, it's because I'm busy on Saturday.
Right.
I'm going to a wedding, and I won't be able to watch the end of the game because it's like a 3 or 3:30, and then I'm gonna be. But
Yeah.
I think for the past few years, and I think people have said this. I think you probably said it once in a while that Dana's had Kingsbury's number. So I'm a little confident there. I haven't seen Texas Tech play. Have you watched any of the Texas Tech games?
I watched some of their first game with Ole Miss, which they got beat, and then some last week with Oklahoma State on the road, which people had thought, I guess Oklahoma State was pretty good after they beat Boise, and Tech goes on the road and wins there, and then they beat Houston the week prior. So they've got a couple of quality wins in my mind under their belt coming into our game. So they've got to be pretty confident coming in, but I would rather probably have them coming off this stretch of wins than them coming off a loss. It seems like teams are harder to beat when they're coming off of a loss. There's just more motivation to win.
I understand. Who's the quarterback from Clemson that wants to transfer?
Kelly Bryant.
Give her your recruitment pitch, DJ.
I wouldn't want him. I don't want him or Hurts, either one. Neither one of those guys are fits for our offense, I don't think.
No, I agree. I
like Bryant. I think he, from a talent aspect, he'd be good, but I don't think he's really a guy that's gonna excel in our offense.
No, I understand. I think I don't keep saying this. It's not really like it's ever going to catch on, but I kind of like that we're getting these transfers. It's cool that these players,
Yeah, I was telling Mike, I mean, it's been unreal, just what we've pulled in, and I'm wondering who on the staff's actually got all these connections, but
I got
I mean,
you.
we got the kid from the middle linebacker from Alabama for next year, and
Oh,
I'm
wow.
sure there's going to be others on the way. So
I hope so.
It's definitely paid off this year, probably more than any.
I'm sure we've had, and I don't want to, but I wish we could start getting more freshmen. They'd get on the wagon rather than going somewhere else, and then they only get like a year or two here, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Well, I think as far as the high school recruiting is going, I think it's gotten incrementally better. There's a lot of good, at least at the skill positions. It seems like there's been, Dana's always going to recruit receivers well, but that seems to be a good spot for him. And of course, anytime you're seeing us on the TV as much as we are, it always helps. So
No, I got you. I think getting Will Greer is going to help us more in the future, even though he's not going to be here after this season, because I
Yeah.
think we'll play well. Young players will see that, and they'll be like, oh, I want to do that. I want to do what Will Greer did, or I want to take that team to the next
Right.
level. Hopefully, players will.
yeah, I
wanna
mean,
do
I
that.
think we've got a couple. I think we've got a couple guys behind him that are probably worthy enough to play next year and beyond. I think we're pretty much set for the next 2 or 3 years. I like Allison. I think he's going to be a good starter in probably 2 years. He's still got 2 years of eligibility, and he's a big dude, 6'6", and
I got you.
they don't always make him that big. So
No, it totally makes sense.
yeah, waiting for this sports book deal to kick in West Virginia so we can gamble on some games, but
There you go.
we're still waiting on that. So I'll try and keep the folks updated if I have any news on that.
Yeah, no problem. But it was good talking to you, and always share with family and friends and stuff. That's always much appreciated. And it's always
Yeah,
appreciated
definitely.
for calling in and stuff. So thanks. I'll talk to you
Sure,
next
buddy.
week.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
But that'll do it for this week's podcast. I'd like to thank all the listeners and the people who have downloaded the podcast. Podcast is available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Google Play. Subscribe to all of those. Like us on Facebook, Benjamin's Dream. Follow us on Twitter at My Dream Jersey. Follow us on Instagram at My Dream Jersey. And subscribe to our YouTube page, Benjamin's Dream. And also check out mydreamjersey.com. Go to the Top Picks tab. And go to the Merchandise tab. On the Top Picks tab, you can go and you can find all the sales from major retailers of sports memorabilia, sports collectibles, sports clothing, jerseys. Go check that out. And then if you'd like to support us in buying any of our merchandise, some of the Benjamin's Dream merchandise also has My Dream Jersey on it, that would be highly appreciated. If you like the podcast or disagreed with anything we said, we have no problem with you leaving comments on any of those things or telling us how you feel. So I'd like to thank everyone again, and same time next week. Bye.